Hallelujah, Yahweh. Praise YAHWEH. In the name of the Son, YAHWEH, Bet Nun Sofit, YAHWEH. Selah. Welcome to Black Guys of Yahweh Media. Today, I'm making a video for the 2/3. True Israel can relate, but it's not for you. I'm going to expose the ideal of colorism and racially ambiguous, or being racially ambiguous, once and for all. The first thing I'm going to do is give you a little background on myself. I'm originally born in Los Angeles, California, and I was raised in Arkansas. And where I'm from, for some reason, we tend to have different type of black people that I guess America and the rest of the United States or the world don't have from the same place. In the Mid-South and the South and the Midwest, black people who are descended from slaves, all of them don't look the same. This seems to be a point of confusion today. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that there's this movement that is trying to reconstitute or reformulate what is black. Being black means that you have many different colors, features, sizes, and shapes. Being extremely dark-skinned with white noses and thick lips, that's only one type of black person. That doesn't mean that something's wrong with it, but that represents one distinct look of black people. Truth be told, there are more people in the United States that are brown and caramel skin, copper skin, than there is people who are extremely dark skinned. My grandmother, for example, she's extremely dark skinned with quote unquote European features. So that totally destroys the notion of being racially ambiguous. That's only one type of black person that represent only one kind. Let's take a place like New York City. They have Jamaicans, Haitians, Dominicans, Cubans, who all look black. But when you go up there and you talk to them, they say, I'm not black, I'm something else. And when I say that, it means they would be maybe from a different continent or from a different island and have a different heritage. They may speak French, or they may speak Spanish, or they may have their own tribal speak. But when they come to America, depending on where you're from, you're just black. When they leave New York City and they come where I was raised, where you have a house every mile in the country, white people are going to look at you and they don't see a black person. They don't care if you are Haitian or Dominican or Cuban or all these other groups. I made a video in which I show Yahweh ben Yahweh speaking about this anyway. But I have to get into this hypocrisy. None of these YouTubers who grew up in the projects and in the hood around mixed and light-skinned people never walked up to somebody who was light-skinned or mixed and said to their face, they don't represent being black or they are racially ambiguous. I'm going to say that again. None of these YouTubers who make these videos talking about mixed people and light-skinned people are not black or they're racially ambiguous or they don't represent what true black people look like. Let's turn to, or better yet, go to the photo that I have here. So you have Cardi B, you have Lovely T, and Chrissy. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about Chrissy is that she's from Jamaica. Now, Jamaica is part of the 12 tribes, but we're going to speak as if she don't even know that. So we'll just say she's black from the island. And let's take Lovely T. I like Lovely T. When I found out she was Nigerian, now I understand why she pushes the colorism. It's not so harsh as subtle. It's the racially ambiguous or the quote-unquote not looking like a traditional black person. The island of Jamaica and Nigeria, they're in the top categories of skin lightening cream. So what I would tell them is, why don't you go and press that up on where you're from? Because truth be told, most of these individuals come here and express themselves in a way that they can't do where they're from. Many people from the island, they're not trying to hear that colorism thing. You can watch videos about it. They're trying to be light-skinned. Not all of them, but many. In Africa, you sure can't do it. So they come to America and they try to impress or try to push their ideology that they can't do where they're from. I remember being stationed in Germany and I ran across some Ethiopians in a restaurant. I could not tell that they were not black Americans. I thought they were stationed somewhere where I was stationed at. They look exactly the same. There are mixed and light-skinned and quote-unquote red-bone black people that look like what these individuals on YouTube are saying don't represent black. And they know that. That's the shame. They know that. That's the problem. But what they're doing is they're making money off of traditional black women in America who have self-esteem issues. So if you want to make money on YouTube, just talk about colorism, be anti-black male, talk about racial ambiguous lists or being a different color or black men don't like dark skin. And if you're a black man and you want to make money, just have an anti-black woman YouTube page. I mean, these people know how to make money off of you. So it's really, really problematic when you have people trying to rewrite what black people look like. I'm talking about descendants of slaves in America. I've seen them that look like they're mulatto and not mulatto. I've seen them look brown skinned and be mixed. I've seen them half black and half white. But I'm going to reiterate, these people are hiding behind YouTube and they would never walk up to them and say, I don't think you're black. So if you won't do that, then why are you pushing this? There's not one type of look for black people. But when you get up on your YouTube page and say someone who is not dark skinned or you think to have European or Asian features, you are racially ambiguous, that's a problem in itself because you act like you don't know black people look that way. That's not mixed. I'm talking to Lovely T. Chrissy, there's really no help for. So you may say, why are you talking about this, Yako? What is this video for? Isn't this a discussion for black women and women? Well, what affects traditional American black women also affects black men. This is the really important part about this. Because we are the tribe of Judah, we seem to be mistaken something. I'm going to teach you guys something. We make excuses for other members because we believe they're part of the 12 tribes, or we may say somebody from the island is Judah. Did you know that Judah in America is more oppressed than any other group? They're even oppressed by other members of Judah that's not from here in the other 12 tribes. Judah is the kings. We are responsible for what happened to our people of true Israel. So we are punished by the Most High God of Israel, Yahweh, more than the other different groups. You can be from the island and be Judah, but when you come to America, our enemy treats you better than he treats us. And that's not dividing, that's just the reality of it. I'm trying to show examples of how traditional black Americans who are the descendants of slaves, they allow people to run game over them. Why are we letting other people come here and have a standard of what color is, and they're not even from here? That's the important thing. The One West camps really do this. I'm Nation of Yahweh. But they really do this because they believe Hispanics and Native Americans are Israelites. I know that's another thing. At least not the ones outside of Afro-Latinos. But when they're oppressed by other members of the tribe, or they say that are the tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel, they make excuses for them. You don't have to, because you can be oppressed by someone who is Israel. So the fact of the matter is, if you're one of them pro-colorism pushers or racially ambiguous people or individuals you say don't represent black people, why don't you start telling some of them to their faces? And it's hypocrisy because many of you, especially if you're not from somewhere else, you grew up with people like this. All black people don't come in the same form. But you have people trying to rebrand that to promote their own insecurities over others. And you have traditional black Americans that are allowing them to do that. And it's sad. So I just wanted to touch on this foolishness that we have going on. And I hope people start to wake up from it. Because all you're doing is promoting and putting money in somebody else's pocket because you have some kind of deep-seated hatred for your own self or you're insecure about something. So the colorism, racially ambiguous notion, it's dead. It's dead. It really does not exist at all. It's a figment of your imagination. It is a figment of your own oppression. That's all it is. You can be dark-skinned, blue, black, purple, like a grape soda. And if you have high self-esteem, high character, and you're outgoing, guess what? And you love yourself, guess what? That's all that matters. I'm brown-skinned, and I see black people, whether they are extremely light to extremely dark, I don't see no difference in them because of how I grew up. So this is hypocrisy. You guys need to dead the issue. And mainly, unfortunately, I'm talking about the two-thirds. That's where the problem comes in. Most of true Israel, they don't pay any attention to this. But maybe secretly, some of you actually are in cahoots or promote these individuals on the DL. You might down low be like, you know what? I really rock with Lovely T.I. when she's talking about colorism. I really rock with Chrissy when she's talking about colorism. You may be one of those people. At the end of the day, you're black regardless of your shade, your nose, your lips, your cranial shape, so forth and so on. This is Black Gods of YAHWEH Media. As always, like, share, give your comments if you choose. And I'll holler at you guys in the next video. Shalom. I'm out.